Hey, I'm Jessie Raspiller with Venture Well Yoga, and today I'm going to talk to you about the psoas. Does anybody else care? I don't know, but I've been babbling on about this muscle for probably the last 15 years. And whether you know where it is at within your body or not, I'm going to share that with you as well as some other pieces of why you might actually care about this muscle as much as I do, or maybe even just a little bit by the time you're done watching this video. So the psoas, what is this? Why do we care? First of all, placement in the body. So the psoas is our core stability muscle. So we think of core as our abdomens and our obliques and all these important things that we're constantly working to strengthen. So that's great, but I want to take that out of the realm of the world of why we care about the psoas. The psoas is not something that we necessarily need to strengthen. In all honesty, a lot of times the psoas is something that we need to loosen. And so let's talk about first where it's at in our body. So it's attached into the lower portion of our spine. Its attachment rate goes from the T12 down to the L4. So multiple placements on the vertebrae where it attaches. And then it starts to fan out in and around the hip bones to the inside of the femur. And then it attaches back down there. So it essentially connects the top half to the bottom half of our body. Kind of a big deal. If that hasn't sold you yet, then just wait for it. So again, as I mentioned, we don't necessarily want to strengthen this core muscle. We don't need to do sit-ups. We don't need to push and pull and make that psoas muscle any stronger than it already is, because unfortunately our psoas is honestly the cause of a lot of pain that we carry in our bodies. It is associated a lot of times with the back pain that we have. Okay, so think about how many attachment points that this muscle has on our back. If it starts to get tight on one side or another of that vertebrae, of course it's going to start to act like a rubber band and begin to pull those vertebrae out of place. So again, everything in the body is attached. So if the spine starts to go out, we might start to feel pain in the neck. And of course, it's associated with hip pain. I mean, any yoga student that's ever come to me and said that they have tight hips, I'm like, you got a tight psoas, friend. Let's work on that. And then it also comes in and causes a lot of knee pain because of that attachment point on the femur. And then there's so many other placements because of its location near the diaphragm. It's actually a cause of a lot of asthma. This was a huge aha for me. As much as my geek outness of the psoas has been for years, I've had asthma for even longer than I've been obsessed with the psoas. And to realize that my interest in the psoas could be because of the healing that I want to do around some of my asthma that I have seasonally. And anxiety. So because of the tightness that it creates and the crumpling sensation that we can start to get within the psoas, it can start to cause so much anxiousness within us. It's referred to as our fight or flight muscle. And so this is where a lot of the anxiousness manifests. So think about this when we're in a place of extreme danger or in the middle of what will become potentially a trauma in our life, or even just a minor argument that we get into. Think about how our body responds. We initially go into these animalistic instincts, and that is by course of our sympathetic nervous system. And so right now, while we're sitting here, other than me not loving to be behind camera, I'm more than likely in what we know as our parasympathetic nervous system right now. So this is our rest and digest. Everything is fairly working naturally within the body in a place of ease and comfort. However, when we go into a place of trauma or extreme danger or anything that just triggers us to react in an animalistic way, this is where we start to dip into the sympathetic nervous system. That's the eyes dilating, the digestive taking over its own control, the heart rate starting to beat, and then the psoas goes into work. And it either tells us to buckle down and stay and fight, or it tells us to flee and get the heck out of there. And this sounds crazy that we still have these mechanisms built into our body, but this is truly a design that's helped to keep us safe in situations where we don't have time to even think, we just react. And so the challenge with this is that it ends up causing a lot of pain in our body due to these traumas. So how does that work? I'm going to take a minute to go through this. So there's so much more that I could share with you.